December the 2nd, 2017. Guys, I've got a swamp report that's really important because we know from the last couple of weeks, really since Trump got elected, but the last couple of weeks, the swamp is really desperate. They are panicking. And yesterday the headlines were that Michael Flynn had turned against Trump, confessed to the FBI that he was going to turn on Trump about collusions with Russia. And where it came from was Brian Ross from ABC News. I knew something was up with this, and I went over and read the PDF yesterday of the trial of what that was actually said, what Flynn was accused of, and what the statements of the lawyer was. And never did it mention any kind of collusion with Trump. Not only that, you can see from the headlines that Brian Ross has been suspended from ABC without pay for 4 weeks. Brian Ross, you're not going to be able to come back. I'm going to tell you this right now, and you better listen, because enough people's going to contact ABC and tell them that if they bring you back in, it's like bringing Matt Lauer back in. Matt Lauer was accused of one thing, but Brian Ross, do you realize yesterday that thousands of people lost money in the stock market after you lied about that report? Guys, if you look back, look at CNBC, that after that report, this fake news report from Brian Ross at ABC came out, the stock market started dropping rapidly. A lot of people lost a lot of money. ABC, you need to be sued, and you need to pay back every stockholder that lost money on your fake news report. Guys, if you were foolish enough to be in the stock market and you lost money, then you need to get in touch with your attorney and have them get in touch with ABC, and we'll bring one more swamp monster to the ground. They're going down anyway. But Brian Ross, you are pathetic, and you are a loser, and you're a traitor to this country. You came straight out and told a lie because you're so desperate that you've been bought off, and probably in the situation to where you committed some type of crap to where the CIA has information on you and have paid you to lie, that you are so afraid that you will come up with anything. They're pumping this information into you, Brian Ross, and ABC News. You're blaming it on Brian. Brian, you are guilty, but ABC News will not put out anything in mainstream that they haven't already approved. It's just that they got busted, and so they're going to have Brian Ross as a scapegoat. But Brian, you are guilty, and ABC, you're guilty. Everyone call your local ABC affiliate and the major ABC News organizations from New York to California in whatever city, and let them know. Now you've become NBC and CNN fake news. And when you lie like this, and you're supposedly an American broadcast company, and you cause the collapse of the stock market and a lot of people a lot of money over a direct lie that you had no proof of, you're the bottom. You're not a swamp monster. You're a monster down in the very slime and the mud of the bottom, Brian, and ABC, and you're all coming down. Now, let's read just a little bit from it. It says, late Saturday, ABC News announced it was suspending network investigative reporter Brian Ross 4 weeks without pay for an inaccurate report that aired Friday. Very inaccurate. Guys, not only that, it damaged the nation. It damaged the stock market. It damaged investors over a fake news lie to try to bring down our president. The report claimed Donald Trump had directed his eventual national security advisor Michael Flynn to contact the Russians while running for president as a candidate. Ross followed up his reporting later that day with a clarification claiming it was not while Trump was a candidate, but as president-elect. Guys, you know the difference? Once he became president-elect, he had the right to reach out to every country in the world to make contacts. And this is where ABC has fallen. This is where the FBI Russian collusion thing falls apart. And guys, collusion is not even a crime. Look it up. Statement as follows comes out of ABC. We deeply regret that we lied and made Brian Ross lie. I'm just putting in a few words here. So now we're going to throw him under the bus. We deeply regret and apologize for the serious error we made yesterday. It wasn't an error, guys. It was an intentional lie. You didn't make an error. I read the PDFs. I read the reports. I read the courtroom information that came out. Never did it mention Trump. We deeply regret and apologize for the serious error we made yesterday. The reporting conveyed by Brian Ross during the special report had not been fully vetted through our additional standards process. Guys, you cannot vet a lie that you created. Nowhere was this anywhere for you to vet. Brian Ross and ABC created it. As a result of our continued reporting over the next several hours, ultimately we determined the information was wrong and we corrected the mistake on air and online. ABC, you need to be sued until your company is dissolved and drained through the swamp. It is vital we get the story right. Why? After you have created a lie, and don't say you vetted it. You can't vet, again, something that you made up. It is vital we get the story right and retain the trust we have built with our audience. You have no trust any longer. You lost it a long time ago. But when you come out and do this and damage everything, it's beyond trust. It's now treason, and you're going to get sued. Again, I want every person that was foolish enough to remain in this stock market that's fake and propped up by fake paper, you still sue ABC, take them down because you lost money. We fell short of that yesterday. Effective immediately, Brian Ross will be suspended for 4 weeks without pay. Oh my God, he gets a month's vacation. Is that what you're saying, ABC? For trying to collapse the country in your attempt to bring down Trump, the president we elected? ABC News, you have lost all credibility. I hope the president, along with the Department of Justice, takes you out. And I hope that they make criminal charges against you for treason and trying to destroy the economy through your fake report that tried to bring down the stock market. Guys, we're watching this. I want you to pay attention to what these swamp monsters are doing. Do not listen to anything that they come out with without backing it up. And that's why I did that yesterday. And we've been working very hard here the last couple of days. We had some major tree damage that had to be taken care of, and I hadn't been able to do a lot of reports. If you live in the South, you get these pine beetles, guys, every few years, and we had 70 and 80 foot pine trees that surrounded our house that we had to cut today. It was sad, but when the pine beetles get in them, and if you don't get them out of there, they're just going to rot and fall on your house and crush it. These were giant trees, so we've been really busy. But never not take the time to come in, check the news, and verify it. And why would I say that, guys? We've been talking about Langley. We've been talking about the CIA and the FBI getting raided. Now there's more information. It wasn't just the CIA. And there's news that Mueller is actually now working for Trump. And that makes perfect sense. It's called rats jumping off a sinking ship onto a floating one. But they're still rats. You understand what I'm saying? Every day, check out the news, and then before you believe it, now with the lies going on, because the deep state is they're in retreat after this raid at Langley. But that when you're in retreat, it's like a wounded animal. That's when you become the most dangerous, except they don't realize that now we have caught on to their tricks and their lies. And that's the only reason I'm doing this video, guys. It's not the most important information that's coming out now, but it is important to point out what they're doing. Not only that, the tax plan is passed. I think enough people realize the swamp is about to be totally drained. But that new tax plan is passed, and that's a good thing, guys, because it's the first major win through the Senate and the Congress that Trump has won out in public. Now, there's been tremendous victories behind the scenes. But now what is happening, and I think it has everything to do with the CIA takedown. Republicans and Democrats were involved in that scheme, both sides of the House, both sides of the aisle. And they know their days are numbered. And we've got 5,000 sealed indictments. Many of them are probably politicians in the swamp. And they know they better play the game now. But I think it's too late. Because even though they're trying to turn around and save their own butts, Trump and the Department of Justice has their number. And it's coming. We're winning. And again, the reason I'm doing this video is to show you how desperate the swamp is. This is a heads up. Be safe.